about that game, can't talk about the Packers offense without talking about Jordan Love. And I think Jordan had an up and down game. He had a real tough ending to the game. We talked about, the absence of Zach Tom playing into that somewhat. That final throw, people are going to be talking about that. I know Bears fans have been in my mentions all week about it.
Whatever.
That's it. You talk about, remember how we've talked a couple times about how, people comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, first-year starter, and we've said a little more Favre in there than I see more Aaron Rodgers, and man, that was Favre-esque at the end. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking there. I don't know what he sees. That is boneheaded with a capital B. That said, you cannot deny the run he went on the second half of the season. The level he played at was as good, if not better, than any quarterback in the league. I'm excited for everything coming for Jordan Love, but in a way, I don't mind a little, okay, here's something you really need to work on, which is end of game decision-making. Something Matt talked about. Jordan himself mentioned it. Like, yeah, everybody's got to work on something. Everybody's got something they got to attack, right? And that's certainly going to be Jordan's thing this offseason. The 2-minute situations, knowing when to press the issue and when, okay, let's live for another down. I think that's something he's going to have to learn.
Here's the thing. Like, Favre was a moron. Is a moron. You know what I mean? Like, he's not intelligent, right? Aaron Rodgers is like super intelligent, so much so that he like has that whatever that symptom is where you think you're so smart, you're smarter than everybody else. Love's kind of in between, It's like you even listen to. I was listening to Favre talk about Holmgren, where Holmgren was like, "Don't do this," and Favre did it anyway. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like I just don't see
often.
Like Rodgers would do that with Holmgren, like all the time, right? And like Rodgers would do that with when him and McCarthy got over it, right? But it wasn't. It might have been spiteful, but it was still a smart decision versus like I'm just going to do this because Mike said don't do this. So there's a part of me that like it's when with Favre it became a trend where he just did dumbass shit and he never really learned from it, And
didn't seem to, right?
He didn't seem to. He learned from some stuff, but he never was a cerebral quarterback, right? He was like, oh well, they're gonna intercept it. I'll just throw it fucking really hard, and then they won't, And
I think I think there's a stretch when he's winning MVPs. He's playing much smarter ball. I don't know if he's like reading defenses better or anything like that, but it's clear he got a lot better as far as knowing where to go with the ball, how to keep it out of harm's way somewhat.
He still didn't even know what nickel was.
He didn't ever have like minimal interception numbers, right? Yeah, no, he did.
That whole story about when he learned nickel, and I get that, but I'm not saying like, and that's not like we laugh at that, but it's like, and not like you should know that, but it's like, bro, you were in high school and college and you never asked. Like that's curiosity as part of intelligence, right? It's like it killed the cat, but it also makes you smarter. So
I feel you.
I don't know. I'm just like Jordan doesn't feel like that. He doesn't feel like that guy. It feels like he's a studier, and it feels like he's You
know how we got to that point with Jordan where we think we talked about it, where like when he lets go of the ball, I'm never worried. I don't have that heart in my throat. Oh my God, where is it going? Right? Like, is this going to end up in our wide receivers' hands or their defensive backs' hands? Like, I never felt that the second half of the season. So then to see that throw in that moment, it was like so disheartening, heartbreaking. I know he's trying to make a play. I get that, right? In that moment, here's hoping he learns from that on a big stage. Undoubtedly going to hear a lot about it this offseason, etc. But I mean, you still can't take away, even despite a real tough ending, just an outstanding second half of the season from Jordan Love, which hopefully he builds on. Hits the ground running next season and picks up right where he left off prior to the fourth quarter of the divisional round.